everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Nas.
And I'm Alba, and in this video we are going to be talking about why so many expats and digital nomads are moving to Spain.
We're gonna tell you how to move here, what are your options, and also what are the tax implications. Did you know that expats pay less taxes in Spain than actual Spanish people?
We'll get into it. If this is your first time watching, you might not know that I'm Spanish and we spend a good amount of the year working remotely from Spain.
Our hubs are Dubai and London because we have a business called Matuto.com. Link in the description. Why not put a plug? But yeah, we love coming to Spain because, well, I was from Spain, I'm from Portugal, so it's just around the corner. And honestly, this is a great place for us to be part of the year.
Personally, we love the quality of life that we get here in Spain. The food is absolutely amazing. And it's also a great hub for us to travel to other European countries. So those are some of the reasons why we do spend between 4 to 5 months a year in Spain. But the question is, why is everybody else also doing the same thing? Why are there so many expats moving to Spain in 2024?
Very recently, Deal, a well-known company, released a tech migration report. And did you know that Spain ranked amongst the top 3 countries alongside the UK and Canada that receives the most number of migrant skilled workers into the country? Spain, one of the top 3 in the world.
It's crazy when you think about it. And to be honest, it's something that we have been noticing when we are in Spain, especially here in Madrid, which is where we are based. We have noticed that there's so many more English-speaking people, so many more expats. Like, you go onto the street and you'll hear people speaking English in the terraces. You can feel it, like it's becoming a much more international hub.
And why are people moving here? Well, we've already mentioned the food. The food is delicious here. The weather is great. And the fact that Spain is so diverse when it comes to the landscapes that you can get. You can go to the north of the Pyrenees and do some skiing if you want. You can go to the Spanish islands, Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza, very famous ones, as I'm sure you know, to experience a perfect summer. But overall, Spain has great infrastructure. It has very good internet connection, and a lot of different cultures can be found here.
But I think the top reason why expats are moving to Spain is the quality of life. I mean, I'm sure if you have been looking into it, there's this whole TikTok trend of English-speaking people saying how they've slowed down in their lifestyle so much when coming to Spain, because we have a huge culture of enjoying life. Like, this is such a big thing. People don't live to work, but they work to live.
Oh, that's a good sentence, but it is probably very, very true. Yeah. You'll find people in the terraces, drinking a beer, eating some snacks. It's fantastic. Another thing I want to mention is the fact that everywhere you go in Spain, whether it's Barcelona, Valencia, Madrid, everything feels very, very clean. The government actively puts effort into making sure that there's enough parks, that not many cars are driving through the city centers. It's just this overall good smell, like you can feel nature, you can smell nature, and it feels clean as well.
Yeah, I think it links to what Nas was mentioning about the good infrastructure in Spain. Another benefit why a lot of people move here is we have national healthcare, so you don't necessarily have to pay for private healthcare if you don't want to, and you have that option available to you. Finally, I think pricing is a really important reason why people are choosing to come to Spain. And realistically, prices have gone up in the last couple of years because of the crisis and COVID, but it's still much more affordable than other places that people typically would choose to move to.
When it comes to renting, much cheaper anywhere in Spain, but also the quality of the place that you get, right? More space, better neighborhoods, you get better location, everything is just much better.
And I think also traditionally people who would move to Spain would move mainly to Barcelona. A lot of that has also shifted into Madrid. We already mentioned we are seeing a lot of expats here, but also people are going to Valencia, you said, and expats are realizing that Spain is so big, and if you go to more local areas where yes, there might be less expats and less English speaking people, but you will find better prices. Like if you go to a smaller village or live out in the outskirts of a city, rent will be so much cheaper.
Absolutely.
And you still get a lot of the other benefits that we mentioned. But if you guys are interested in learning more about how much exactly it costs to live in Spain, we are going to be doing a video about how much we spend. I'm going to take you guys with me to see all the expenditure of a week, so make sure to subscribe and stick around to see that video. But another reason why I think some people are moving to Spain is because as an expat in Spain, you can request a reduction in tax.
Now, this is a really big one. And perhaps a little bit controversial. We'll make a whole different video about this in the future, but the gist of it is the following. If you're an expat and you move to Spain, you have access to a reduced tax scheme. You will pay 24% flat rate as opposed to the increasing percentages that most people pay, up to 47%.
Yeah.
And you can see 24 to 40-ish is a very different number.
And you might be thinking, well, 24% is still a fairly high amount of tax. That's true. But if you're looking at moving at anywhere within Europe, the UK, most of the countries have a similar tax structure where it goes by brackets depending on how much you earn. The fact that Spain has introduced this law where if you are coming to Spain, you can get flat 24, and you are a high earner within the tax brackets, that definitely benefits you, and you can get the benefits of living in the EU with that tax rate, which is very good.
And if you're not sure if the amount of money you're earning makes it worth it, well, we've created a small calculator as well, which you can put your annual salary or annual expected salary, and you can see how much you will on average save per month by availing from this tax bracket. This tax discount, let's say, is called the Beckham's Law. And you're thinking, Beckham like David Beckham? Yes, like David Beckham. When David Beckham came to play for Real Madrid like 2 decades ago, he was influential enough to lobby the government into creating a law with his name to give expats, because he's British, a preferential treatment when it comes to tax. Now, in the meantime, they've removed that tax from football players. It no longer applies, ironically. But yeah, this is essentially why it has the name Ley de Beckham.
That is the informal name, by the way. It's not like called like that in the law, but everybody recognizes it as the Beckham's Law. If you ask anybody in the Spanish administration, they will know what you're talking about.
You have to apply for it, and you have to be accepted, and you have to apply within the first 6 months of moving to Spain. But if you need help with that, make sure to check out the link in the description, because we actually help people with that. So it would be foolish of us not to share that. Now, let's talk about moving to Spain. What are your options? Well, the first is to be a student. Students who are admitted into a university in Spain or are a part of an international program that allows you to come over to Spain for 6 months or a year automatically give you the option to move here and have access to all of the benefits of living in Spain. But option number 2, which is the most common one, is to get a job in Spain. Be employed by one of the companies operating right here. And did you know, fun fact, that the top 3 categories of work that have been hiring the most expats in the last year was sales, number 1, software engineering, number 2, and product management, number 3.
A large amount of people who have been moving to Spain are EU citizens, because if you are one, you don't need a visa. So it's much easier to find employment. But needless to say, companies are also hiring internationals that are not EU. You will just need to get a visa, which normally if you are being employed, your employer will provide it to you. But even if you are an EU citizen, you still need to register in Spain. Now, this is one of the most annoying things about moving to Spain, is the paperwork, the bureaucracy. It's still a little bit old school. There's a lot of paperwork that you will need to do, and it will be in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, it can get a little tricky.
People who move from the EU to Spain have to register within 3 months of arrival, and they need to get a document called the NIE. Getting a NIE is not necessarily easy. A lot of people struggle with it, but that's exactly why we help people get their NIEs as well. So if you are moving and you are from the EU and you're getting your NIE and you look at the form and you're like, what the hell is this? How do I get an appointment? How do I fill this out? Well, link in the description. Have a read through and reach out to us because we can help you.
There is different ways of getting your NIE. We've become experts over the years helping people do this. So obviously, if you don't know where to start, you don't know how to get it done, just let us know. Your NIE is really important because it's basically like your national ID as a foreigner, and you will need it for everything. Like you will need it to access national health care, you might need it to rent an apartment, you will need it to get a phone number, and probably to pay your taxes as well. So yeah, it's very important that you do that. And yeah, all the info will be in the link in the description.
Option number 3, move to Spain with a Digital Nomad Visa. If you work from anywhere across the world, you might want to consider Spain as your destination. But be aware that if you spend over 183 days in Spain, you will be liable for taxing purposes in this country. So you will have to pay taxes here. So be careful.
Be careful because you might end up being double taxed. You just need to assess your tax situation and decide where you're going to live and for how long. As an EU citizen, you can move over to Spain and work remotely from here, whether your employer is Spanish or not. But if you are not, there is a new visa that's called Digital Nomad Visa that you can apply for, and you just need to meet one requirement, which is you need to earn double the minimum salary in Spain, and that is about $32,000 per year.
Well, there are a couple more requirements. You will most likely need a letter from your employer saying that they agree with you essentially carrying out your operations or working from Spain, essentially.
Yeah. And a couple more things, but the earnings are the most important.
So yeah, Spain has really been opening up doors for everyone around the world, and the Digital Nomad Visa is one of the ways in which they're doing that. But I think overall, when I moved here, officially moved here about what, 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, I had to get my NIE, I had to do my tax exemption law, and I had to do all of these things, and I already felt like it was moving in this direction to make it easier for people to move here.
Let us know in the comments, what do you think? Are you considering any of these options for moving to Spain? And if so, what is your biggest worry? What are your biggest questions? Because we will be happy to make another video and answer those.
We will be making another video. We will be making a lot more videos about Spain.
Yeah.
So subscribe to this channel if you're interested in moving to Spain.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I guess we will see you
in our next video.